What you need to do is to write here in keyup code myx to be equal to something a little bigger than myx, for example myx plus 1. Of course this will not work if we keep the code that is making the square chasing the mouse. In order to see our change working, we need to delete those two lines. And now we can see that yeah, I can move the square only by releasing keys on the keyboard. And if I alternatively press Z and X, yeah, the square is moving. You can hear me that I'm alternatively pressing Z and X. But even if I press totally different keys, or if I just press Z, the square is always moving, because here in keyup we aren't caring for anything. We don't care which is the key that was just released. We just move the player to the right immediately. I want you to now change this. I want you to make the player move only if the released key is Z. So this line of code should be executed not always, but only if some specific condition. And actually we don't know which condition could be this, because we don't know how to understand which is the key released, which is the key that was released. Well, we can do one thing. We can go back to our application, to our browser, and view the developer console. Press F12 or press here, and you can see that on line 16, which is a console log, or was a console log, this is the console log that I'm talking about. It was on line 16 a little bit ago. So it's not only printed pressed, but it's also printed the value of a variable that we haven't created here. Apparently this is a special variable, just like mouse X and mouse Y and few other are also special variables that we didn't create it here. So it's a variable that is only possible, that is only, it is a variable that we can only use in keyup, and it's a variable that stores a code showing us which was the key that we pressed. You can see that there were totally different numbers because I pressed totally different keys. I'm now going to start pressing a specific key, for example key R, and you can see that it's always with a key code 82. I can press different keys, for example W, Q, and I don't know if you already have guesses about what are those key codes. Even if we don't see any special idea in those codes, we only need the codes for two of the keys, and I can now experiment to understand what are those codes. So I'm going to experiment to understand what is the code for Z. Oh, apparently it's 90. I pressed Z and I can see that 90 is the printed number. Okay, I will now see what is the code for X. 88. Well, those are numbers that I could have seen in the past too, because as you know, I was honest with you, and I really alternated Z and X for a while. So we can now actually see if the player is really using only Z key by checking if key, this variable, is equal to the code of Z, which is apparently 90. So it is going to be really easy for you to add the condition in this if, so that this line of code moving the player to the right is only executed if the key that was released is Z, if it's with a code 90. Try it for X2, and then you can experiment with different keys, or you can just go straight to the next video in which I will show you this really simple task for a condition that checks if the key is such a value that apparently the key released is exactly with a code 90, so it's a Z. Good luck.